I declare the June 5th Parks and Recreation Commission meeting open. Let's begin. We'll start with the roll call.
Commissioner Marapon?
Here.
Commissioner Srikanth? Commissioner Stanley?
Here.
Vice Chair Bono?
Here.
And Chair Swami?
Here. So we will proceed with the first item on the agenda, which is Parks and Recreation Department Marketing and Communications will give us a presentation on marketing and communication.
I will do. Bert will give the presentation. He's for communications and marketing.
Happy to be here. So I'll go ahead and get started then. Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioner. Here to present the comprehensive marketing strategies used by Cupertino's Parks and Recreation Department to promote our wide range of classes, activities, events, and community engagement efforts. So first we have our recreation schedule. The Cupertino Parks and Recreation schedule serves as a cornerstone of our marketing efforts. Published quarterly, it highlights a wide range of classes, programs, and events, and is distributed to over 2,300 residential addresses in Cupertino via direct mail. In addition to the printed version, the schedule is also available as an interactive digital brochure featured in every Parks and Recreation marketing email. Each digital edition averages over 30,000 views, with users spending nearly 6 minutes on average engaging with the content. Embedded links, primarily directing readers to registration pages, generate about 3,200 clicks per edition, helping residents quickly find and sign up for activity. Each edition is also downloaded more than 400 times. Next, we got display marketing. To increase the visibility of key programs and events, we use a variety of display marketing methods. The city's internal TV screens in high traffic areas such as City Hall, Quinlan Community Center, Community Hall, and the Senior Center showcase upcoming programs. These digital displays feature rotating messages that are updated regularly to highlight the most current news, activities, and events. We also use banners, A-frame signs, and posters in strategic locations throughout city facilities and parks. Many of these include QR codes, allowing community members to easily access registration pages or event information on their phones. Additionally, temporary signage is used during city events to boost visibility and promote future activities. These include directional signs, branded pop-ups, and on-site program advertisements. By utilizing a rotating display method throughout the city, we're able to present a wide variety of programs and events to diverse audiences, ensuring that more potential participants have the opportunity to engage with us. Next, we got social media. So social media continues to be a powerful tool for municipal outreach, and Cupertino Parks and Recreation fully embraces its potential. We maintain an active presence across multiple platforms, operating 2 Facebook pages, one for the entire Parks and Recreation Department, and another dedicated to McClellan Ranch Preserve. These serve as primary channels for sharing program updates, event information, and community highlights. Additionally, we share Parks and Recreation stories through the city's Instagram account as well as on X and Nextdoor. We use social media to tell our Parks and Recreation story. This includes posting about what's happening across the department, from Cupertino's preschool being visited by the city's public works team, opening a new playground. We highlight community members having fun at festivals, our new lifeguard team, and share so much more about our programs. We also run targeted paid ads on social media to increase the visibility of services, programs, and events. In 2024, the Parks and Recreation Facebook page reached nearly 130,000 individuals, a 39.9% increase over 2023. Posts were engaged with more than 2,100 times, up 19% from 2023, and links within posts were clicked on 8,300 times. That was 46.4% increase over 2023. So we had good increase across all those key metrics. And then the Parks and Recreation Facebook page also saw 486 new followers in 2024. As for the McClellan Ranch Preserve page, the account reached more than 20,000 individuals. Posts were interacted with nearly 900 times, and the page gained 190. Okay, email marketing. Email marketing continues to be one of the most effective and indispensable tools. Its adaptability, direct reach, and cost effectiveness keeps it highly relevant and is consistently delivers some of our highest conversion rates across all of our outreach channels. We use emails to share the monthly e-newsletter, promote events, highlight key programs. We also maintain segmented lists tailored to specific audience, which allows us to target message more effectively and efficiently. Currently, we send 2 monthly e-newsletters, one focused on general parks and recreation updates, and one specific for the Cupertino Senior Center members. In 2024, the general parks and recreation e-newsletter achieves an impressive 85% engagement rate, up from 81% in 2023. The list also grew by more than 2,000 new subscribers. The Senior Center e-newsletter maintained a strong 75% engagement rate consistent with 2023 and saw 500 new subscribers. In addition to the two monthly e-newsletters, we also send target emails to specific groups. For example, teen-focused programs are promoted to our teen mailing list, and Monster Mash details are sent directly to past Monster Mash participants. In total, we sent more than 120 outreach emails in 2024, up from 90 in 2023. This increase reflects our ongoing effort to communicate with residents about our current year programs and events, specifically those who have participated in the past. Overall, Parks and Recreation emails in 2024 achieved a 73% engagement rate, significantly higher than the 52% citywide average for non-parks and recreation related emails. Okay, the website. So on Monday, December 16, 2024, the city launched a new website, providing an excellent opportunity for Parks and Recreation Department to improve our web presence. This redesign focused on enhancing the look and making our pages more intuitive and better organized, helping community members find, achieve, and find activities, events, and services more easily. Since the launch, 13 Parks and Recreation web pages have consistently ranked among the top 20 most visited pages on the city's website. This underscores how vital these pages are for community engagement. A key priority in the redesign was to create a functional homepage that made it easy for community members to find what they were looking for, while also highlighting key Parks and Recreation offerings. We accomplished this by incorporating a prominent image carousel at the top of the page, 9 quick access buttons for frequent services used, and a news section featuring our e-newsletter and upcoming events. The homepage also includes high visibility links to the rec schedule and the 50+ scene, along with buttons to sign up for our e-newsletter and also visit the Parks and Recreation Facebook page. And then the retaining customers is the cornerstone of long-term success, and there's no better endorsement than satisfied community members. Happy customers become enthusiast advocates, sharing their positive experience with friends and families, which naturally expands our reach and strengthens community ties. In 2024, Cupertino Parks and Recreation saw 43% of customers participating in multiple classes, events, or programs. The National Recreation and Parks Association highlights that successful agencies typically achieve a repeat customer rate of 30 to 50%. Our repeat participation rate is at the higher end of this benchmark, which highlights the strong value and appeal our offerings have to the Cupertino community. And with that concludes my presentation.
Thank you for your presentation.
Fantastic.
Are there any questions? Vice Chair Boner.
Thank you for your presentation. We had the same last year, and last year I didn't have my thoughts as I have them as good as I have this year. So as you can see, you guys are doing wonderful on the social media and anything related to online. I do understand that we have a population that requires the magazines on page. Why don't we send a survey to ask who would want to switch from paper to online? First and foremost, because it would be maybe, we're not sure if we are doing the print, but it could be cheaper for the city year over year. 2, you are able to get more engagement rate, and you can actually see it directly because it's online. You have the clicks and this and that, while you don't have it when you send it online. So my question here is really saving trees and paper and money. Is there a way we could maybe find an opportunity to just provide a mailer to all that says, would you want to keep your subscription in paper or switch to online,
Yeah, so.
digital?
Yeah, so there's a couple parts to that. So we have played around with the idea of one going fully digital and not doing a print. Business wise, we weren't ever able to make the numbers make sense in terms of, we reached out to other agencies that did that, and typically you see a pretty big drop off in terms of people that are participating in your programs. It can be anywhere from like 30 to 50%. And just the fact that you have such a big drop off essentially makes it that the money that we would save by not printing it, it would take us years to get back to even close to that number in terms of it. So that's kind of why we haven't really gone forward in that direction in terms of just completely going digital. I know there's some cases out there too of agencies or even like department stores that are going back to print because they do see that it does have a very good conversion rate having something in your hand. We haven't played around with the idea of asking people if they would want the guide. If they want just a digital version or like a postcard, a mailer. Partially we'd have to explore for that is the routes that we use for UPS or USPS, which is essentially like a bulk mailing. We don't have the option of just excluding single addresses, because we use like a very cheap bulk mail rate. So, that would be something that we'd have to look into and see what the feasibility of it would be. I don't really have an answer to that right
The
now.
reason why is because I'm getting it in my home, but I'm more of a digital guy rather than.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
if it's me, I'm thinking that way, maybe others think too, like, hey, I just want to give my 2 cents.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely something we could look into, but it's also something that, say, if we excluded, say, 5,000 brochures from it, mailing them, it might actually cost us more to exclude them, because then we have to do essentially like an individual postage for each one. So it's something we can look into, but it might also not be like, make sense in terms of like for monetary reasons.
That's very interesting. Actually, for my master's thesis, I looked at digital versus paper, print. And, there is, but that was on news, but this is actually in schedule. I think it's easier to browse.
Yeah, I
and
mean, it's easy.
make. And
Yeah, I mean, just having something physical in your hand, it's a lot more likely that you're gonna flip through it, see something impulsive that you're gonna kind of catch your eye. Opposed to just like, an email is easy to essentially like just brush off. I would love to have the data from it, so that's why I would love if it was digital, but unfortunately can't get that with the printed versions, but yeah.
Yeah, therefore I'm curious because in this domain, I completely hear you, but I'm also interested in hearing what is the cost for printing, and I'm sure there's a scale, right? For if you have this much, you get this much discount, plus this second tier, you get that
Yes.
much discount. So what is the cost? How many are we printing? And what's the cost per print, and what is the tier level that we're hitting?
So we print about 20, so we mail to 23,000 homes
Right.
4 times a year. We print about 24,500, sometimes 25,000, depending on what season it is. Example of that would be winter. Typically, we don't have as many people stopping in to pick up a printed brochure. But for summer, when summer camps pop out, those ones fly off the shelves, right? So, it depends on the time of year of how many.
What's the cost?
Oh, yeah, and then in terms of how much it costs, each print costs us about, for the whole year, it's typically about 100,000, give or take a little bit.
For over about 100,000.
For the entire year.
That's
25K.
Yeah, so we're spending about like 25,000 per mailing.
No, I mean, so you're saying it's $1 per.
Yeah, give or take, yeah, very close to $1.
To me, it is not very expensive. Who thinks it's expensive? You think it's expensive?
I mean, it's very glossy, it's very beautiful and it's very rich. It's very nice. But
I
yeah,
thought the cost of printing would be higher.
really?
Yeah, Really, because it's quite a bit, right? Yeah, quite a few pages.
Yeah, and we did recently go through where we talked with different vendors and we did bring the price down of where we were at one point. I think we saved like a couple thousand. We also are limiting the number of pages that we're
Yeah.
printing. Because depending on how many print, the pricing can like skyrocket. So we have two set page counts depending on what, if it's summer camps or not summer camps. That helps us keep kind of costs in check too.
What's the cost for mailing it, the mass mailing that you have?
So that was included in the number I gave you. The printing is about 20,000. Mailing is about 5,000.
Absolutely.
That is amazing. I'm really surprised because I thought the rates would be higher.
Yeah, no, they seem like they would be, but it's honestly not too bad when you're looking at the big numbers. Yeah.
Commissioner Kumarathan?
Thank you. Sure. So I have a few questions. One is on the Facebook and other online. And you talked about the conversion rates on the email is better or it's getting much better than the other ones, right? Other media.
Yeah.
Right. When I say conversion rate, is it about how many people register it or how do you calculate?
So there's different ways you can go about doing the conversion rates, whether it's like a click rate, whether it's a click-through rate, whether it's like they're engaging with the email in different ways. The number I gave you is kind of the overall number of like number of people we're sent it to and number of people have interacted with that email in some sort of way. So there are a lot of different ways you could do it, but yeah, for the emails, it's kind of the overall number of like interactions.
Awesome. And the same thing you will do for the Facebook or Insta or.
Yeah, so we
social
analyze it
media.
with similar numbers, but they won't have, they're like. You see like the number of people that will view it, you'll see the number of people that are interact with it, which is typically like your likes or shares, stuff like that. So yeah, so it's a similar, they don't quite like the an email and a social media post, they don't quite have the same type of analytics, but they definitely have their own analytics that you can kind
Yeah,
of.
email is a matter so that you can know that how many people clicked it, how many people opened it.
Yep.
All of them you can easily track it, but in the social media, I understand. The other question I have is that the displays, when I was in library commissioner chair, the commission, I was looking at it. I haven't seen yet the rolling displays, which we see in other places. Do we have one in library?
I actually don't, I'm not sure on that question, we can check on.
Yeah, because the
I'm not
reason
sure.
there is a display inside, but when I was in library commission many years ago, we were asking about like a lot of people, a lot of kids and parents come in.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to see because a lot of events are happening and they didn't know except picking up a brochure. So the display thing goes on because they sit and watch while people are checking out or the kids picking up. There is a big display inside the library. And I know you were there too. So it just displays one even like a static page kind of. I was always wishing that, oh, we should have all the events because people say, oh my God, I forgot to register to that summer camp. Let's go and do kind of. We never had it. At the time itself, we made some suggestions, but I don't know what it is. But I've seen people asking
Mm-hmm.
kind of events and stuff. They don't have much exposure because that's a place where you see tons of kids and families coming in. So the question is, if it is not, I know I saw the displays, the one you put in there. I think that would be another place where people really looking for it, but they don't have it on the fingertip because they have to go and look into it, and they just see it on their face. It could, so.
Yeah, I mean, we can, so I don't know if they have it, it wouldn't surprise me if they don't have it, just because it's owned by the Santa Clara County Library. So I wouldn't be surprised if like the city didn't have a rotating TV, but it's not, yeah, we can. I can talk.
We can work with the library commission and stuff, is there anything on the, and the Friends of Library Foundation and see whether we can do a collaborative one. And if you could find it and if you come back and say, oh, it's not there, but we need to do some approval or whatnot, let us know.
Okay.
So I think we can do something because I've seen a lot of, I go library almost every other day and still people asking for it and I tell them, go and look at the web page. Thank you. That's all, but it's amazing. It's beautiful as Vice Chair said, it is colorful and I do really look at only the printed one. It's not because I'm a senior, but it's still, I look into it, I circle it, I go back and say, see, do you want it? I can go back to ask my wife or my kid. It's easy to circle around a few and go flip it kind of instead of taking a laptop and scroll through. No. It's easy to and highlight it and say, these are the 4 things I wanted to do. Do you want it? It's so beautifully engaging.
Yeah.
But you folks are doing awesome job. So congrats again.
Ask you though, you said click and click through. How are you defining? And I get it, the click is you're clicking. When you
Yeah.
talk about click through, are you saying they are checking out or what are you thinking about?
So any of the emails we send, the goal is to get them off that email, right? So we want to get them out of the email to wherever we want, whether it's reading about like what happened last month or registering for an activity. So pretty much what I'm looking for is, did they click the email? And then out of the number of people that actually opened the email, how many of them clicked on something that was inside the email to essentially take that next step?
And do you also measure registration through those links?
No, it would be nice if we could, but with what we have, essentially you would have to add some sort of tracking device into active that would
Right.
know, we don't have that ability.
You
to do
should
that.
consider doing it. Because that will really give you a good estimation of your campaign effectiveness into
Yeah.
complete conversion. Because when you talk about conversion, what are you talking about?
So the conversion rates, so with the conversion rate, we're essentially looking at, so for social media, I can see how many people click through to like the registration page. I can't see how many people
Actually.
actually register. So we're looking at conversion in terms of, did we convert someone to?
Go to the registration.
Yeah. So unfortunately with active, we don't have we can't go in and edit the code on it. So that's where you have to put in the tracking, information. So
You can't do it post hoc. You can't add, I want to track this because we do it at workplace all the time. We did not have a granular tracking for some activities.
yeah,
But then we went back and said we needed to see this in a granular way and we did. So that will really tell you how many people converted as in registered
yeah.
for classes rather than just click the
Yeah.
registration button.
So it's something I can look into. We looked into it when we started doing active, but we've had it for a while. So it's something I could revisit and kind of see if it's
Yeah, it should be possible, I'm sure of
It,
it.
it, only things it costs.
Oh, yeah, it's possible.
Meta will ask for more money for every.
No, but that's what, if you have a software engineer, talk to them if they're maintaining code, if they can put it, because it's not too much.
Yeah,
To do it is what I understand, because my team did that recently, so that's something that please do look into
Okay.
it.
yeah, we can look into that.
Part of the maintenance, thank you. And Vice Chair Bono.
I was just going to ask, like you said, you don't have any engagement rate on the 23,000 publication that you do, but let me ask you this. And if it's there, I'm not gonna say anything next year. Do you have a QR code that basically would pop up that allows readers that receives manual one to click the QR code and give them a little summary? Are you interested? Do you like this? Are you going to participate? That's some kind of questionnaire that might respond to what you need and give us a little bit more of an intelligence by just adding a QR code in it and collect that data.
Yeah, we don't have anything like that. That's something we can look at.
Oh, that's a good solution.
Yeah, it's a great suggestion.
I would go with that. It would give us all the questions you may have. 23,000 people may answer. If even 10% is still valuable.
Yeah, we can definitely, that's an easy thing to do.
Any other questions from the commissioners? I have a question for you. Are there any activities that you would like to pursue as a nice to have or something that you think is important to have that you currently don't, but would like us to consider from a marketing and communication standpoint?
Honestly, I'm probably not the person to ask that. That's probably more coordinators because they're more like in the ground of the
Yeah.
types of activities and everything that's it's
So any
scheduled.
parts that you may have,
So-
or you've heard from anyone else in your team?
I mean, from community input, no. There's nothing that I really get that kind of like
No, not community, I mean your team.
my team. It's really
Marketing
me
and
and
communication.
one more part-time person. I mean, it's a hard question without like some sort of data. Like I said, I don't know if I can answer that because I mean, there's really nothing that I don't know what the coordinators are seeing in terms of red numbers for everything and like trends like that and stuff like that. So I would need some like data or something to look at to see what the community.
So am I looking at one full-time staff of marketing and communications for the whole of, or is it just for parks and recreation?
Just for parks and
Parks and
recreation.
recreation. All right, thank you so much.
Yep.
Really appreciate that. Any other
Thank you.
questions? All right. Thank you for the
Thank you.
presentation. All right. So we'll go to the next one, which is approval of the minutes. We had the last meeting on May 1st, 2025. And we have the commission meeting minutes. Are you going to take on that, or should I just go ahead and say that, have you all reviewed the meeting minutes?
Yeah.
And are we going ahead and approving that? And you can call a roll call.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the first minutes.
Who is going to approve? Who's going to make the motion to approve?
I'll
And
make the
who's-
motion.
Excellent, Vice Chair Bono. Who's going to second it?
it.
Thank you, Commissioner Shrikant.
Right, so we'll go for a vote. Commissioner Kumarapan, Commissioner Shrikant, Commissioner Stanek,
Yes.
Vice Chair Bono, Chair Swami.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
So the next one is postponements. Do we have any postponements?
No postponements this evening.
Right. Oral communications. So is there any other, this portion is basically reserved for anyone who wishes to address the commission on any matters within the jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda. Anyone that we
Yes.
have?
Yeah.
Yes,
Excellent.
we have one oral communication.
That is excellent.
And
You have 3 minutes to speak.
Okay. So I'm just here, I don't have what I wanted to have because I was babysitting duty and they came home late. I couldn't get my stuff, so I'm winging it here. But I wanted to reach out to you guys because you probably know, maybe don't, that the city council is discussing the possibility of purchasing the property next to Sedgwick Elementary that has been abandoned.
It's to wait.
Sedgwick Elementary.
Oh,
There's a approximately 1.5 acre parcel that was where the home of the family that actually owned the farm for years, then sold off for the housing developments and then for the school. And they kept their spot there, and
Wasn't that already sold? Sorry.
the school districts bought it, but they're not doing anything with it yet. And they are eager at this point to find a good use for it. And many of the uses that they've discussed are not good uses. The preference for the majority of them is that the city purchase the property and maybe they partner to make a park of some sort. Or the city does it when they can. But I am of the strong belief they cannot lose that piece of property. The reason it was purchased by the district is it was supposed to be Sedgwick expansion. They started talking about it in 2014. They finally purchased it in 2017 with the verbiage that, you know, these houses are going to be built because Valco was, and Chris Chu of the district, shouldn't use the name, a district member in a presentation misrepresented. He said this wasn't done. This was done pre-Valco. Well, wrong. Valco's first thing was in 2014 and they purchased in 2017. So it was, for as development goes and we have more kids, we're going to need more school space. And that it was a logical thing to do, even at the time when they were worried about money. And they bought it with bond money, and during those school district meetings, and they weren't recorded then, but I have in my notes from back then that one of the presenters from the county said, you use bond money to purchase land without knowing what you're gonna do with it, you must use it for school facilities. And somehow that has got lost, or public use. Somehow that got lost in the last 10 years, but I know the school district and the city have 2x2 meetings every once in a while, and they've been talking about it for a long time, and there's interest. But about a year ago, staff decided unilaterally somehow that, no, we weren't interested. And so with ever asking council. Council now has it in their bag, and I just, there's actually a solution that a resident has, I've seen, shared, Jeff Whitted, and I don't know if he sent anything to you guys yet. But he has a really great idea for a very natural, inexpensive park once the land is owned, and it will, yeah. Did you get it?
I think we did.
Okay, good. So I would support his idea. I think it sounds good, but first we gotta buy the place. So it should come to you guys as it moves on through council, I would think. But the school district's in a hurry, so if you guys could get involved proactively, that'd be really great.
Thank you, Lisa. Really appreciate your
Because it's in that Park Star east side.
communication. That's great.
And keep it from being something dangerous for kids. Jeff Whited?
Jeff.
Yes. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah. We did get it, yeah.
Great.
All right, so that's the only one, oral communications. Do we have any written communications?
Written communications were emailed to the commission and they will be included in the record.
Excellent. Do we have any old business
No old business,
and any new business?
no business.
So next we go on to staff and commission reports. So staff reports first.
I have a staff report for you.
Yes, Sonia. Thank you.
I have a few things for you. First up, we have an update. I'll just start. At the June 3rd city council meeting, council adopted the fiscal year 2025-2026 operating budget, which included approving the Parks and Recreation Commission's recommendation spending grants for the following organizations as shown with the addition of $3,000 for the Asian American Parents Association, allocating a total of $35,500 for community funding.
Can I ask a question, or do you want to take questions at the end?
No, yes.
So I was just curious about how this came about, because when we did our recommendation, we did put in there, and so I didn't see our recommendation in the packet to the council. Maybe I just wasn't looking in the right place, so I would like to see where that was, but you know, we had said, if you're gonna have extra money, we'd really appreciate it if we went through and the priority that we recommended. Of course, they can do whatever they want, and they do. But I was just curious if there was any discussion about that from the council members, or how the Asian American Parents Association popped up there.
I have the same question.
And I would refer you back to just watch the meeting and just.
Yeah, do you know,
I
like,
don't know, I don't have.
So
When
who
it
presented this?
Did you
I-
attend?
Yeah,
Okay.
I presented this,
Mhm.
and I did not present Asian American Parents Association. I did get a follow-up question from the mayor asking that why did we not? And I gave her the reasons what we had discussed, that we wanted everything to, we went with organizations that were not organization or community specific, I mean, small group specific, but more open to everybody. That was a discussion point. And I think they used their own evaluation and decided that there's actually a festival apparently that the Asian American parents, so therefore to fund the festival, they made their own decision
But was it in
to
our,
allocate.
just a question is, when we given it, assuming that all those recommendations are good. And then I said, if you have more money, then this is the order we recommended. Is
Yes,
that, was
we-
it the order or?
Actually, Asian American, the rest of it, I believe, is in order, am I right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everything is in order, but it looks like there's a little bit of a reallocation they have done from what I can see right now. I think we had done, given Anna
I-
5,000.
No,
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 we
we had
didn't
given
give-
3,000 or 2,000 something for INAC.
No.
It went up.
We have to go back to the original, but there's some reallocation that I see. I think there is a little bit less money I see for Remember the Tooth Fairy, if I remember correctly. And they've increased it from, what was it, 32,500?
So this was.
Wait a second, let me actually take it back. I don't think there's been any reallocation, they just added $3,000.
Correct.
So everything else is exactly as we had allocated. I
Except
take that
3K.
back and make that change to what I said.
I think so.
So they
yeah.
just the mayor, I think, and the commission, and the council added $3,000 extra and they decided to go and fund Asian American Parents Association specifically for the
That's a function of the festival day.
for the festival of them.
Okay.
Do you remember about how long it was into the meeting that they had that discussion? Just
I don't think they made the decision in the council meeting itself, at least the one where I presented. They did
Just a
not
couple
make
days
that
ago?
decision. No, it was actually
it
the
was
last meeting, it was
last-
in May.
Yeah, last month.
In May, that is when I had
Yeah.
presented,
Oh,
but they
It
might.
was last month.
There may have been subsequent discussions among the council members to which I
Yeah,
was
but
not
this says
privy.
at the June 3rd meeting, they approved it. So was it just, the budget was approved, so it was just buried underneath there. So when was the May meeting where you
I think
actually?
the May
presented?
I
19th,
believe it was
Okay.
15th.
15th.
The
15th is when I
Okay,
presented.
that's when it would have been.
And June 3rd
It's
is,
May 15th.
Okay,
yeah, May 15th.
It wasn't.
I'll look there, 'cause
This week.
that was what, I looked at June 3rd, I don't see
Yeah.
anything about this, so.
It's May 15th.
And the
Okay.
other thing is, what is curious is, of course, I had to actually sit and stand up and we talked about the process of how we did this. And I said, we came to a unanimity and compromise. We heard each other and this is how we came up with. And they specifically, the question was, why have you excluded 3 of these? And that's where I explained the reasoning, the rationale for it. So in their own wisdom, they decided to add $3,000 extra. And they decided to fund the festival.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions on that? Okay. Next one, we invite you to celebrate the grand opening of the newly renovated Jollyman All-Inclusive Playground at Jollyman Park next Friday, June 13th, from 1 to 2 p.m. The next thing, at Chair Swami's request, we just have a brief overview of the commemorative bench dedication policy. We had sent you the information just in a link, but it had come up at a few different meetings. We were asking, do we have a policy? Do we have a way to get a bench dedicated in specifically Memorial Park? So just briefly, there's rules and regulations. It's run out of our out of our Public Works Department, not out of Parks and Recreation. They do have a process for applying and they do accept bench donations that commemorate people and only one person unless there's a significant reason why they would need to consider that more than one bench for one person. Okay, and the fee, I think, was what you were very interested in. What does it cost to get that bench in there? And so it's $5,000 for a term of 10 years. And that includes the concrete bench footing, the concrete pad, the procurement and installation of the bench and the plaque. And then a 10-year sponsorship of the donated bench and plaque. And then once you hit that 10-year mark, a 10-year term can be acquired for a renewal fee of $2,500. After the expiration of the first 10-year agreement. And then the costs on that could change every 5 years just to align with the consumer price index. So we're not set at $5,000 and $2,500 forever and ever.
But if somebody wants to have 20 years today and pay
Exactly.
$7,500, they can if they wanted to. Would you accept that?
Would you
For
accept
20 years?
$7,500?
Yeah.
And only Public Works.
Yeah.
Because
Somebody-
honestly, I thought it would start from 10,000 and higher for at least 2 years. I don't know.
This is good. And what
Well, they
happens
would go
if
through
someone
this
doesn't?
process.
Okay,
So this would be the process. The approval process is they submit the application, it goes to Public Works. And then, once they look at it and think that they can make that happen, then their staff will meet with the individual that's trying to get the bench put in. And then they review and either approve or deny the bench location and the plaque. And then the city staff actually orders the bench and the plaque and then performs the installation. So, and all of that is run through Public Works.
One quick question, after the 10-year period, if someone doesn't pay the 2,500, does it mean they'll take the bench and throw it away?
Take the plaque.
No, they remove the plaque.
Remove the plaque, okay.
Probably remove the plaque, yeah. I probably depends on where they're at. And I believe that policy is in the last 5 years. I know it's been kind of established since I've been here, it's been about 3.5 years, so we haven't hit any of those 10-year marks yet.
That's right.
Policy.
And what about the wear and tear of the bench? How often do you all have to replace the benches that are there?
I don't know that, Public Works would know, but I would guess that they probably are around that 10-year mark, and so that probably answers
That's
that
a life well
my
taken.
friend's policy. Okay, any other questions on the bench policy? Sorry, I can go back to
Go
that.
ahead, thank you.
No.
Okay,
I know that's something Vice Chair Bonner had brought up a few times, that's why I asked him to present it.
Yeah. Okay, so onward to the update. Blackberry Farm is open for the season, and if you want more information, you can go to cupertino.gov/BBF calendar. I have found myself going there often just to update the public. Okay, Parks and Recreation events coming up. We have our summer concert series from Thursdays, June 12th to August 21st. 6:30 to 8 at Memorial Park Amphitheater. And most of them will be at the amphitheater for the few dates that we have the Shakespeare performance and that they're in. We move to the amphitheater field, so the field right behind. Those have been almost as popular. So okay.
One question,
Yeah.
is Thursday chosen for a specific reason?
It's something that has been kind of an ongoing, so people kind of have known historically that it's on Thursdays and then it perpetuates during the summer.
Yeah. Because I would think that Friday people are off from work and they're there. Thursday, they have to go back to work on Friday, so.
Well, on Thursday, it reminds them that tomorrow at 5 p.m. will be off. Will be for the weekend, so they want
Yeah.
to celebrate early.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure this predates all of us.
Thursdays, like
Sorry.
the community is more in town.
Yeah.
Especially during the
Right.
summer.
Fridays,
People
yeah.
kind of head out. Yeah.
Weekends.
That's fine.
Yeah.
The beginning of a lot of people's weekends.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Sure. Disco at Dusk, it's our, the theme is International Night this year, and that's on Friday, June 20th, 6:30 to 8:30 at Community Hall. It's a registered event, so regforrec.org. And this is an intergenerational event. Each guest receives a pair of wireless headphones with 3 music channels to choose from. They have the genres are Bollywood, K-pop, and reggae. And then they can switch between channels as often as they like and find which one they like the best. And then they have glowing headlights on the headphones that show who else has your same channel. So you know,
Oh, I see.
but in the room, it's very quiet. So it's a great event for people that don't want to experience too loud of an event. So we invite, it's run through our senior center, and then we have definitely an intergenerational crowd there. Okay, 4th of July celebration. We have lots of things going on this year. We're gonna start the day here at Quinlan and Memorial Park with pancake breakfast. That will be in the Cupertino room from 8 to 11. And then at 10 o'clock, we'll have the flag raising, and the flag raising will go anywhere from 10 to 10:20, we're hoping. And then we'll start the children's parade, and that will parade through the park to the amphitheater. And then the Billy Martini Show concert will start right at 10:30 or when the parade arrives, and go till noon at the Memorial Park Amphitheater. Okay.
Do people have to register for the pancake breakfast or they just show up?
The pancake breakfast is registered, paid event as well, and
What does it cost?
that I have to look up for you, but I think it's about 13 a person for adults.
Oh, okay.
That is actually hosted by the Tampa Optimist Fund. So that's a better resource for that.
Okay.
Okay, Parks and Recreation events, continued. 4th of July celebration, evening fireworks are happening, 2025. We will be having the fireworks set off from Hyde, Middle School, and then the viewing sites are Creekside Park, Sedgwick Elementary, and Miller Avenue. The bulk of people on Miller Avenue are closer to Bollinger, so that gets. For more information on that, you can go to cupertino.gov/July 4th.
But this is happening after 2019, or was there one in 2023?
We actually had fireworks in 2022.
2022.
And then we had them in 2023. Last year, we did not
We
have
did not,
them.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
But is this year really fireworks or drones?
this is.
No, no,
Yeah,
fireworks.
but Sunnyvale is the top.
Yeah,
Yeah, it will be about a 20-minute show of the full shell fireworks that we've done in the past.
The drones cost 3 times more
Yeah.
It's amazing.
than this.
Yeah, I gotta finish.
Okay, Cupertino Camp Out. This is from Saturday, July 19th to Sunday, July 20th. Yes, it's an overnight event that we host from 4 p.m. to 10 a.m. at Creekside Park. For more information, you can go to cupertino.gov/campout. This is a night where we invite the community to come out and camp on the field at Creekside Park. It's a great way for families and neighbors and friends to come together at a place that's not maybe one of their houses and have fun camping under the stars. And we have activities, we have s'mores. We encourage everybody to bring their own dinner. But then in the morning, we host a continental breakfast, and it's a really fun night for everybody. We also show a movie that night, so.
Is the registration already closed? I know it gets sold out, it
uh,
gets sold out so quickly last year and the year before.
Camp Out has been okay on registration, and we get a lot of last minute. It's a tricky one for coordination because it's a lot of registration in that last week because people want to wait and see what the weather's going to be like and everybody's in town, and so we get a lot of our registration right at the last second.
It was fantastic. I've been there at least once until midnight and.
Yeah, it's a really fun event.
It's fun to even just walk around the park after you guys had it set up.
An event, yeah. Okay, we have Shakespeare in the Park. And it will be performing on 3 weekends, July 19th, 20, July 26th, 27, and then on August 2nd and 3rd. And that will be at the Memorial Park Amphitheater from 6 to 7:30. And this year's performance will be The Two Gentlemen of Verona. And just to mention again, once they're set up in the amphitheater, then our concerts will move to the amphitheater field.
Question about that.
Yeah.
Last year, they really scrambled because we pulled the funding from them. And so did that just get into, is that in the 25-26 budget? Because it's in July, right? And so
That
they knew that
was-
funding was gonna be coming. How did that work?
I believe actually that was approved this year to bring back the funding from the city. So, and then that was part of our budget that was just approved.
Glad to hear that.
The only thing is it collides with the same, the camp out on the day, 19th.
One of the nights, yeah, but if people want to do both, they can still do both. They can still come here, watch the performance and just arrive a little bit later. Because they can come and set up their tent, come over here and watch the performance and then head back to be with their family for the evening.
Or they could go to a different weekend for
Yeah.
the play, because it's 3 weekends.
Yeah, and it's the same performance all the
Okay.
weekends, so, yeah. Okay, we're at Movies in the Park. Those are Fridays, August 8th to August 29th at 8 p.m. at Creekside Park. We have a really fun movie lineup this year with starting with The Princess and the Frog, And then we actually have Wicked.
Wow.
Yeah, Wicked's gonna be super popular, so.
Yeah.
You ready if you live there? Rumble and Wonder Woman. And these are free movies and open to the public, so those are really fun nights to come out to Creekside.
What's the typical show up for that? Do we know how many people show up?
But
Yeah, it can range anywhere from 200 to 300.
Yeah.
It will probably go even more though, because it's a really popular movie. So that might go up to like 400.
That's-
Yeah. And that's my last, just reminders and updates. We have the Parks and Recreation Summer Guide, the actual physical guide we do have out. And summer camps start June 9th, so Monday, some of our camps will be starting. I will say that a lot of our camps will actually start the week after, and some of them, a lot of our staff that we hire are gonna be in service next week as well. Cupertino.gov/recreation or rec schedule for more information. Our city offices and facilities will be closed on Thursday, June 9th in observance of Juneteenth. However, Blackberry Farm Golf Course and the Sports Center will have normal operating hours. And then our next regular meeting will be on Thursday, August 7th at 7 p.m. It's a reminder that July 3rd is canceled.
So this is the last time before the August.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sonia. There any other comments, questions, Larry, from anyone? The next one, are there any other commission? I don't have any commission report. Does anyone else have any commission reports to give? All right, the next item is future agenda setting. Are there any future agenda items that you would like to discuss?
Yeah,
Commissioner Kumarappan?
thank you. I think this is based on the written communication. It's a very long, it's the detail, and the same thing was brought up last
Yeah,
month
that
as
is
well.
right.
This is about non-resident usage of our park and recreation facilities, which is okay, but it is blocking our residents. It is limiting access to residents, and it's at the cost of residents' opportunity to use that. So it looks like, again, I read it once, but I need to look at the reports. But like this is twice it was brought it up. And I would like to really put an agenda and see what we need to do detailed analysis, if that is what it is. And especially this particular written communication today outlined about people coming in. I've seen it in other places,
Correct.
in San Jose side and some other parts where I used to live, where a group will come and they will play, and then one person will go and people from the same group will come and do, so that whoever sits there, you have to sit there because it's all group will do the round robin and you will never get. It's mainly on tennis courts. I have seen it. I have to sit with my son for 3 hours kind of, because until then I won't get it, even though it says 45 minutes, 30 minutes. But they have their own things, and one person will leave from the doubles and the other person will join. And then the other person will leave. That's a round robin method.
Yeah.
So it looks like, based on what I looked at it, that similar thing happening at Cupertino, our facilities in tennis courts and others. So I really wanted to see, and
Yeah.
with the data too. And so I really want to put that agenda item. We wanted to see, let's do a deep dive.
Yeah,
We have one more month in between, so we can come up with the questions based on written communication, send it to Sanya and see how it is. And I really want to see it. We need to see some action. If our own residents are not getting it and they are fuming, and it's our job to really do that. And I really want to put it. I would like to spend, I don't want to have too many agenda items on it, and I want to spend more time on it, where it is and how it is, and how we can offer our own facilities to our residents first. And then go to the non-residents. And if these things are camping and round robin methods are coming with the gang, people coming in and occupying it, it's not right. And I wanted to see what it is. Again, I saw some data, but I want to hear from our staff put together in front of us. So we'll come back. My request is put that in agenda. In the meantime, based on, we can read about it more and we can ask more questions, and what do we want to see? We can send it to Sonia and see whether that can go to the right person to come and present it. Looks like that's one agenda item I want.
So what is the
Commissioner
agenda?
Srikanth, do you want to take a separate item or you want to?
No, I have a question on that.
Yes.
Yeah, what is the agenda?
It is usage of our Cupertino Park and Rec facilities by residents and non-residents. Usage of it. What are the rules and regulations we have put in there? And if there are instances happening like these reports, what we see it, how are we really regulating it?
So,
I don't know how we regulate it, I do not know. Is there a process? For example, if there is a group of people from a non-residents, non-Cupertino residents sitting there because I was a victim when I was on the other side of the city, where you sit there, whereas a group will come, 10 people, and will keep on round robin, they will never allow you to play, because the court is not on reservation, it is a free. So these kind of things, if it is happening, how are we planning to regulate, if that is? Or we really do to supervise or regulate, I do not know. So I just wanted to know the usage and what are the policies in place in case if it happens, how we are going to stop it. That's all at a high level.
so just to summarize then, the agenda is for us to request the staff, city staff to present the rules and regulations, existing rules and regulations and the statistics on the usage. Is that what?
Correct.
Like we are reviewing the situation, the existing rules and regulations. Is
Yeah,
that
because
the
they
agenda?
also have the same written communication everywhere, so they know what the problems described by
Correct.
one of the residents.
Okay.
And I think the same residents came in, I think, last meeting and presented the same problem, but in a different context, different area. I think people bought something else. So it looks like it's a recurring, and I do not know whether
Okay.
people may be just sharing things.
Yeah, I got that.
That's a high level, but
Yeah. So what is the action, like I'm trying to understand, because what is the action item for us? Do we have to do some homework before that? Are we discussing in
No.
that meeting?
yeah, we will
Next
be-
week and
In the August meeting, based on the information we received from the city staff, are we going to discuss some proposals?
yeah, I think maybe let me do that. So I didn't want to say homework, but for example, I wanted to go through it. And if there are specific areas, then I will be sending that questions, because these are the things I wanted to know in the report when they present. So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to send some questions. Hey, these are things based on the report. So can you please help to present these things? I'm going to send a question to Sanya so that she can give it to whoever is bringing it.
Yeah.
So at least I'm going to give
Got it.
those prompting questions so that they know, oh, this is what the commission is looking. Otherwise, they may come up with a standard report and still you may not get what you want.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put all the prompting questions. I have it. I have a long question already based on that. So I'm going to send 10 questions to them. So if you find it, if you read it, and if you hear from anyone, you can send the same questions to them. Based on that, it just gives a data point for the staff who is presenting it. Oh, this is the angle they want to see. So they can well prepare. And I don't want them to go on a wild goose chase. So
My
Can I
recommendation,
clarify that sorry, is that okay if I?
please go ahead.
So what I'm hearing is that you're gonna go through the written communication that was received. And see where you have points of questions that you are interested in having some data, and then you'll email that to us. Okay, and then as far as a future agenda setting item, then I think what we would probably do is we would first see if you have questions, and then if we feel after questions are asked and answered, if that's something that you still want to discuss, then we can handle that in the agenda setting meeting with the chair. Would that sound correct?
Oh, no, so let me clarify. The questions are just for them to give a heads up on what to prepare. I don't want answers on the questions back on,
What
because
he's
I may
saying-
have more
The
questions.
presentation.
I need a
having those
presentation by the
questions, yeah.
staff
Okay.
on many points, in general, of the usage of the facilities by residents versus non-residents. That's it at a high level. But what underneath they need to present is what kind of a data I want personally. I will send a question to them. Similarly, each one can send their questions to you. You can give those 20, 30 questions to whoever is preparing it. Then they know, oh, okay, it is the usage of the facilities by resident and non-residents. Okay, underneath, oh, these are the these are the questions driving that question, driving that report. And I wanted them to present it where we all will hear and question and ask them and say, what is the next step and kind of, I want to double click, triple click on some of those areas. I don't want the answers to coming back to me or others separately. No, that's not, because I may have another question on that answer. So it won't be good to have it a written communication. I want to have a presentation.
Commissioner Kumarapan, if I am understanding you correctly, you are looking for usage, both in terms of number of sessions as well as the time they're using, amount of time they're using, correct? And the other thing you're asking is, once we review this, potentially the commissioners or this commission will discuss options to make any recommend changes or modifications to the.
Yeah,
rules?
this may be
Is that
based
what
on the
you are talking about?
presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Is
do
that
not
the
know now.
intention? No,
but I wanna-
basically, if,
Correct.
that's the
Correct.
intentionality.
Because if there is something is going on, that is
Yeah.
fuming, that means some residents are, even some of them are not happy.
That's the
I
outcome.
want to address to them, because
That's the
they
potential.
came to us with such a detailed statistics and all of them.
Yeah.
That means we owe some response back to our own residents.
No, I am agreeing. I'm just trying to make
Yeah.
sure that we are closing the loop on
Oh,
what that
absolutely.
outcome. The outcome is potentially we discuss and we potentially make some
Correct.
recommendations if needed.
Yeah, for example, there are no
On
rules and
changes.
regulations on, okay, if there is a group of people sitting there and not allowing, how do we do that one? I
Correct.
do not know.
Yeah.
So I want to ask.
Then we
What
can
do we have
set
today in
in
the
rules
system?
and say residents, this.
Yeah.
Identify the loopholes in
Yeah.
the rules and.
Whatever it is, and I wanted to serve, these are all like bypasses. So.
All right.
Yeah.
So Soumya, one question. Should such recommendations, hypothetically speaking, let's say the commission comes up and says we are changing or we are recommending certain modifications and reservations or how it gets allocated, the courts get allocated. What is the next step? Does it go to the city council in terms of the recommendations and then they have to either approve or disapprove? Is that the process?
So I think it would depend on the kind of recommendation that it is. If it's a internal guideline policy, then it's operational, and then we would hear you and take your feedback on the operational policies. If it's a larger scale, something that would be like a municipal code change recommendation, then that would need to go through a process that would go to a recommendation to council to consider if you felt strongly about that. So likely, I just did a quick read, that's a lot of information in that, and we just got it today. Likely a lot of those are probably operational procedures.
Yeah.
So,
And you can review that for us anyway, right? What the procedures are.
yeah, so that's what I think I'm hearing is a presentation on like what policies and procedures are really in place to handle resident versus non-resident.
And the usage.
Okay.
So, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Any other
thank you.
comments and questions on this? That's a good one.
I second that. Yeah, I was going to bring up the same topic for the agenda.
Okay, does someone have to first make a motion? You make the motion?
Oh, yes, I make
Yeah.
a motion to bring that particular topic, what we just
Yeah.
talked about in the August itself.
Yeah,
Okay,
I second that.
thank you, Commissioner.
And also another point just for me to clarify, my quick read, I read mostly that was a tennis court reservation concern. Is that,
No, yeah, this week it was tennis, correct. Last month it was different.
Pickle.
Many other, pickleball and other places too, so.
Yeah.
It's overall, any facility where residents are deprived of its usage.
Yeah.
Our own residents, I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Why, how we can,
So
Help them.
basically addressing the official comments that we got via email. That's really what it, and the presentation, the oral communication we had about 1 or 2 meetings ago.
That's right.
These past 2 meetings, that's what I would say.
From some sections.
Yeah.
All right, I actually would like to propose an item just for understanding, because I don't have enough knowledge and I don't know if the other commissioners do. With regard to the item that we had in the oral communication, the Sedgwick property, is that in our jurisdiction at all to review it and talk about it, or does it come in someone else's jurisdiction? Is that something we can get more information about? to learn more about it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it would be in your purview yet, because that's not something that has,
Anything to do with us?
it hasn't been
Okay.
purchased by the city, so the city is not part of that property as of now. So if they were, and then we were looking at uses, then that would be.
That would be the time. All right. Okay, thank you for that clarification. Anyone else has any other future agenda items? All right.
To have a great 4th of July.
Excellent. So if we have no other future agenda items, let's actually